Secretary of State Tillerson today warned that failure to stop North Korea's nuclear program could lead to devastating consequences.
Failing to act now on the most pressing security issue in the world may bring catastrophic consequences. We must increase North Korea's financial isolation. We must levy new sanctions on DPRK entities and individuals supporting its weapons and missile programs and tighten those that are already in place.
Joining me now to discuss the North Korean crisis, President Trump's foreign policy, much more, Congressman Ron Desantis. He's a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, a member of the Freedom Caucus, and Congressman, good to see you again.
Good evening.
The Secretary of State making it very clear. I mean, catastrophic consequences, failing to stop this program is truly not an option. This ballistic test today, another failure, as KT McFarland pointed out, third straight failure of a launch of a ballistic missile by Bukchang, the facility in North Korea. Where do we go from here?
Well, it's a difficult situation because you have the leader of this country, which is basically a prison, Kim Jong-un. He's a chubby, immature brat, essentially, who is just in that position by accident of birth. And I think he wants to hold on power above all else. I think that's what most analysts say. And that is somewhat rational. But I think the way he sees the world and the way he sees holding on to power is somewhat irrational. So that's why I think it's so dangerous, because North Korea is not a match for us, but they can do a lot of damage in the region, particularly in Seoul and South Korea, if he miscalculates.
Seoul, South Korea, in great proximity to North Korea, obviously. And as you look there, we're looking at the range for ballistic missiles. Certainly, Tokyo becomes a possible target that they could effectively hit. Over in the years ahead, they're going to be within range of Manila, Taipei. It goes on, and we can't wait until they have a delivery system and an ICBM that'll reach the United States. Our allies, as is clearly demonstrated there, will be at risk.
I think that's right, and we know that strategic patience of the Obama variety will definitely lead to a failed policy. I mean, they will end up getting the missile technology right at some point, and that's going to be a huge threat to the region and eventually to the United States. So I think what the president's doing is the right thing, and he's actually getting China to be constructive. They've really never done that before, and so I'm optimistic that we're going to see more pressure brought on them than any previous administration has been willing to bring. But I think you had mentioned kind of in the previous segment about potential military action. I think that's got to be on the table. I don't want to see that necessarily, but Kim is not going to listen unless he sees that power being projected in his direction.
I think that's exactly right. I want to turn to the House. The Freedom Caucus chairman, Mark Meadows, saying you guys are still a few votes away on health care legislation. Are your thoughts about actually getting the votes necessary?
Well, I think we should get the votes. I mean, we promised to fully repeal it. That's what I think we should do. That's what most conservatives want to do. We have resistance to doing that, so this bill's a compromise bill that rolls back a lot of Obamacare, then allows states to effectively opt out of the premium hiking regulations. And so that should be something that everyone in the conference should be able to get behind who ran on repealing Obamacare. And I think if we do that, and hopefully the Senate will make it better, and the states that opt out, I think you can see some premiums start to go down, which would be a huge win for consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. We're over, but let me ask you this one quick question, because you held a hearing Thursday on the wall. The president, and again today in his speech before the NRA, affirmed again the building of the wall. Where do you think we stand with that? The Dems continue to obstruct. Where are you on the wall, and what is a realistic expectation about its construction?
Well, the hearing showed that if you build the wall, you will save a lot of taxpayer money because of the cost of illegal immigration and illegal drugs. And we had an angel mom there who lost her son to a previously deported illegal immigrant. And people like that want that border secure and want that wall built. So we have a mandate to do that, and I don't see how you can let the next budget go by without there being money. I mean, you have to have it in there.
Everybody who voted for the President of the United States, some 63 million folks want it and expect it. And Speaker Ryan, who had 230,000 folks vote for him, says he's not ready to fund it. Is he going to get over it? Is he going to get over himself?
You know, you can do it through things like the Ted Cruz bill to take the drug seizures, which are $15–16 billion worth of property, right, and put that towards construction of the wall.
By the way, it's one of the most inventive legislative ideas I've heard in a long time. Senator Ted Cruz coming up with the El Chapo bill, $14 billion expected in forfeited assets. Good for him. And we'll call it, what will we call this? The appropriation and the Ryan avoidance appropriation. Congressman Ron, we're going to
we get that on the floor. Make the Democrats vote on that El Chapo Act. I think that'd be a great vote to have for the American people.
Congressman, good to have you with us. Thanks so much. Congressman Ron DeSantis.